I would like to call the Richmond Parks and Recreation Board to order. I will now read the mission statement. The Richmond Parks and Recreation Department provides for the positive development and well-being of the Richmond community through the provision of parks, greenways, trails, and recreational programming and facilities while working in cooperation with other service providers and partners in the community to maximize all available resources. Next on the agenda, there is to amend the agenda to include new business items D and E.
Those were late to come to the agenda due to legal needs, so we just need to add those in for approval today.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to include new business items, D and E.
Is there a second? It's been motion and second to amend the agenda, to include new business items D and E. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Special guests, Denise?
Wednesday.
All right, moving on to the approval of minutes from February. Have folks got a chance to review them? If so, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the February minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. On to the administration report. Denise.
Yeah, so I have in your packet here just our goal setting workshop that we conducted on the 28th of February. This was an all part wide goal setting workshop that we were able to do. And we also passed out the lip glosses as well that was with our theme. So we talked a little bit about climbing mountains and what that looks like in terms of a team. And so I wanted to just draw your attention to that. I also provided you the presentation there as a link. And we had Mayor Oler there to welcome, and then we kind of ended the day with our new HR director, who also introduced herself, Kenyatta Cox. So it was an all-around great day. We provided lunch, and the groups were able to talk through goals and for the year and what was not maybe accomplished last year that they could carry back over. And we talked through a lot of options for the divisions as well and some goals within those divisions. So I wanted to provide those for you to review and so that you had those for your liking. And anything that you wanted to add to those, we can add to the options there too. I know we've talked a little bit about your goals for the department. So you're welcome to send those my way.
Is there anything else? Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Let's move on to division reports. Jim, I see you're here. Do you have anything to report?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, my report's in your packet there. There's just a few things I want to highlight. The technical and grounds crew have been really busy with this weather being cooperative, cleaning up from Wood Weekend. You probably have noticed a lot of areas look cleaned up after we dropped all those trees. And they're starting to de-winterize facilities. And they've cleaned up the yard down at the maintenance complex, got rid of a lot of the things that have been accumulated over the years. And mowing season has started. We started mowing this week. We went to City Building on Tuesday, and they started mowing out here in Glen Miller, so the grass is starting to grow. The reservoir, we're scheduled to open on Saturday, April the 6th, and we're still taking applications. As of now, we do have a manager, and we have 4 staff hired, so that's good to start out with. And we're still in the process of hiring seasonal employees for the pool, lifeguards, concessions, and pool assistant managers. And if anyone's interested, they can do so here at the park office or online at the city. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Financials?
I just had a couple of things I wanted to point out. So we're still at the beginning of the year, so this is from the end of January, but we were already off to a good start with our cabin rentals. I will say by now we have pretty much all of October booked for the Sergeantette. A good chunk of the summer is already full for a good portion around graduation time and stuff like that's already full. So I think we're off to a good start with that. In January, we already had a couple dock rentals, and since then they've increased. So we're doing a lot better with that this year after we decreased those prices to encourage more to come, and I think so far it's working already. The senior center membership has just at the end of January, they've already reached almost a quarter of their projected amount, and that's only at the end of January, so that's looking really good. The majority of the expenses that are coming out so far for January were just the opening of the yearly blankets and stuff to get stuff ready for the year. And that's about all I have. Any questions?
Questions or comments? Looks like you're good. Thank you. Wes, I haven't seen you for a while.
It's been winter time. How are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
Bad. Didn't really have much of time off. Got back and I'm like, Jim, we're freaking 70 degrees and got a lot of play going on. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce my new assistant, Hunter Morgan. Derek Neely moved on with his life, and now he's taken over the clubhouse manager position, my position, and my assistant. And also do the club repairs, so we just kind of moved right on, and we're full steam ahead. And then as far as I wanted to share with you with all the education I've been with through all this winter, is the golf industry obviously is technology driven. And so I'm hoping that, and Denise and I have been working on this for the last 4 years, trying to find a way to get simulators out to the golf course. There's a lot of programs that we're not taking advantage of, like for veterans, like the HOPE program. There are lack of teachers and facilities that can offer this service, and we could do that here once we can get to that point. A couple things that we need to add is the concrete pads for the driving range simulators for an all year round business, and we're also working for a gambling license for like simple things like pull tabs and punch boards to add a new revenue stream, try to get us where we need to be. And then I gave you a calendar of events. As you can see, pretty much every day of the week has something going on, either a league, high schools, college, and then the weekend hits, we'll have a golf outing. So, and that's pretty much starting the first week of April all the way through September. So that's something to look forward to. Now that I've kind of taken over some of Derek's responsibilities, I've been utilizing Facebook a lot more often. So if you're not on our Facebook page, I do daily information about what's going on at the club, promoting their events, and even doing special things like if somebody got a hole-in-one, I'm going to recognize them on Facebook. I was just showing Denise before the meeting, we are going to do some type of a small event during the eclipse. I'm going to call it the Ring of Fire, and it's basically going to be the seniors out there. We're going to have some special events going on. Might as well not drive anywhere else. They're already going to be out there, so we're going to have a cookout and some competition games and stuff, and everybody seems to be kind of on board with that. Moving forward, we do have obviously. I'm trying to upgrade the food industry, and I got a couple pictures here. I had somebody donate me a food warmer, and we're also trying to get a pizza oven operating to kind of add to it. And then Danny, over the winter, has built a new bridge on number 10 that goes over the rocks, so we can take a look at that. And obviously Denise and I have been talking about things about upgrading our food operation besides hot dogs and sausages. You know, they're all kind of burnt out on it, so we're trying to introduce breakfast sandwiches, better sandwiches, pizzas, and things like that. So just trying to be creative and have an economical vision to provide what's necessary to make Highland Lake a staple of the city of Richmond. That's what we're trying to do. And there it is in a nutshell.
Anybody got questions or comments for Wes? I think you're good.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes.
So you have do you have a budget for expanding the food?
I'm trying to work in with the budget we did last year, that we created last year. Now, some of these items just got donated to me.
Oh,
So I really wasn't building that in, but the food warmer, the pizza oven, that's all been donated over the winter. And I also got a brand new freezer that somebody donated to me, so I have more storage. So I'm trying to not just go full steam ahead, because the budget is something to consider.
yeah.
I can't just start buying all kinds of food and get over budget, so we gotta introduce it slowly. And next time Denise comes out, she usually meets me on every Thursday. I'll have some items for food tasting, and so come hungry. Because I'm really trying to figure out what food vendor I'm gonna use. I've used Cisco, but they've kind of gotten out of control. It's gonna take almost $1,200 for them to deliver to me. I don't have space for $1,200. So I am now looking at several other vendors that are a little bit smaller scale. What do they have to offer, and are they going to accommodate me? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'd like to try to nip that bud, at least by the middle of next week, because the season's already here. So I need to get things ordered.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you have been able to look over the folder with some of the subsidy plan that we have been trying to kind of create a little bit more of a concise opportunity for 2024 through 2028 to try to understand some of the expenses, some of the lost revenue, some of that, where we're missing the mark, and some of the opportunities that we might have. So if you've been able to look over that, I'm happy to go over that individually on each paper and each document that we've provided, or I can answer any questions that you might have had on that subsidy plan. It's just trying to come up with, this is fluid documents, obviously, things we're gonna have to continue to look at, but a way that we can continue to help in the subsidizing of Highland a little bit until we can get some things going. Obviously, the cash balance is low. We talked about that last meeting, and so we just need to look at that and what that looks like. There's a reason for that, and obviously that was in the issues and solutions document. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but basically the increase in expenses, inflation, rate at capacity, so there's no room to increase our rates out there, so we're kind of at that level. We've subsidized Middle Fork Reservoir in sports and rec for over 21 years, and we're now playing catch up, right? So there's been no equipment or raises were given for way too long, so when the salary survey came aboard and golf was found to be very under the salary range for any other municipality golf course in the area, we had to play catch up. And so obviously the 1,000 accounts really hurt in what we had to incur. And so some of those things were what has caused us to be in this position that we're in now. So obviously you saw those recommendations and solutions. Review a CCD fund for Highland, a gaming license is Wes's kind of option here, thinking that there's going to be some funds available for pool tabs and things like that. And it's something that we're definitely looking into. It may not be something that we're eligible for, but as you can see in new business, it's something that we'd like to apply for and go that extra step to see if it's something that we can maybe look at and apply for to go forward with. Invest in the facility upgrades, add new technology, increase maybe the cart rate, provide additional promotion, and then provide this 5-year tax subsidy plan, which I provided as a cost analysis spreadsheet. So over time, 2024 what we can provide, 2025 what we can provide, all the way down to 2029, and then we start backing off a little bit. And obviously we have transferred McBride, that has been finalized, and I'm not saying we're gonna have any extra revenue by any means or any extra money to work with, but we have been subsidizing for those users at McBride for years, and I'm hoping that if we're subsidizing anything, it can be for Highland going forward. And that's my goal, is to get them to where they need to be in the next 5 years, and that's the plan. So if we can take on the portage on rental, if we can take on some of the fuel, if we can take on some of these extra costs that I've outlined in the subsidy plan, I think that that's not going to hurt us in the tax plan, but be very conservative going forward until they can make the additional revenue coming through from a simulator plan, a gaming plan, and some of these other options that we've outlined.
Which will end up being an all-year-round business, which we're
Correct.
right now, it's weather permitting, we get 8 months and then nothing. So that, it's just at that point in golf, the northern climate golf courses are now year-round. We just need to get there.
And I know there was a fund for, and I know you probably talked about this before, there was a fund for McBride. I know there wasn't a whole bunch of money in there, but is that just rolled into the general fund?
No, will not be rolled into the general fund. It would be sitting in a fund for capital expenses.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it's...
Do you have to transfer that? Is that?
No, it was an actual capital fund to begin with.
Okay, good.
So it'll be used for capital expenses, and any other park properties will be rolled into that particular fund.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions on the subsidy plan? I'm happy to take any recommendations the board has that you might think we should look at, any different, but I've tried to give you enough information here in this folder, including the equipment that we're gonna need for the next 5 years, the hours, the year of the equipment, who we utilize for seasonal help, and the amounts there, what the cash balance looks like, a little bit about the gaming license in general, and then the rate comparisons for 2023 and 2024. So hopefully all of that information is something that you could digest, and then if you have any other questions or want to talk any further about it, or have any other recommendations of something that we should look at going forward with Highland, we'd definitely be willing to meet about that or talk about it any further.
I'd like to add to that too, it's coming up to the end of our cart lease. And we've already got together and we're already trying creative ways of talking to Yamaha to put us in a better situation moving forward. At different angles, instead of 60 electric carts, maybe we do 48 in gas. Does that fluctuate our payments? So there's a lot of things we're doing now to try to accommodate us for the future. Instead of coming November, hey, guess what? No, we're not doing that. We're trying to fix it now.
So, and I'm a little unclear, so you're investigating getting a gaming license out at Highland Lake?
Yes, so in new business, you'll see in your agenda, there is a resolution, number 3, that is allowing us to apply to see if we have the eligibility status.
So we haven't applied yet?
Correct. I think it's important that the board have a say in that. And then, I don't know if Mike has anything he wants to say. He came out to the meeting with Yamaha, and we kind of tried to explore every option, didn't we?
Yeah, I've kicked around multi-year, or when we want to change the lease over, and as Wes said, a hybrid type of a deal with gas and electric, and where the best, where we're going to store them, how we're going to store them, what the requirements are for gas versus electric. So we're trying to look at all those options and see what's the right deal for us.
Any other questions?
Okay, now you're.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicky, you're here. Is there anything you want to highlight? Are you good? It's up to you.
Okay, well, just one thing. And then I'll run and escape. I was really glad to hear that we're up on membership, which we are. We even have more in February, we have more in March, so that's very exciting. we're getting ready to be Medical Mondays, going on a road show, and they're gonna come see us on April 15th, so we're preparing for that. I started this new helpers thing because whenever somebody can't be at something, they still seem to show up and they want to do something. I'm like, well, I need helpers. So we've organized the coffee pot world, we've organized closets, the art room, every, I don't know, periodical in there since probably, I don't know, maybe 1991 is now categorized. An IUE student came out and did that, and it's very cool looking, and people are noticing, and I have 3 more volunteers coming in 2 weeks that want to do all the art pictures, to take them down, clean them, dust them, do the glass, and rehang them. So this is exciting because it shows what we're doing. We're so busy, I gave Denise like a schedule to show for the week. I actually type out a schedule for the staff because we have so many things happening now that I don't want them to just have to peek at the little calendar. Our Wellness Wednesdays are a huge success. Our Fitness to a Beat, we are now over 35 people, and we had to order more equipment, so that's exciting. We got a donation to get every area I told you I'm trying to do, so if somebody comes in, they don't have to feel on the outside because they didn't bring their basketball, and everybody brings their own basketball. So we got a donation to buy 2 basketballs, so the basketball guys are out there doing that for us. We got donation of pool cue. So this is very cool too. So now if you want to come in and play, nobody has to worry if you're going to, I don't know what happens to a pool cue when you use it because I don't play pool, but there might be something. So now we have pool cues, and we had a new person doing our woodworking where we already had that donated. I saw him there today and I was like, oh, you're making a bird? He said yes, and then I'm on to more things. So we're growing, we're pushing the limits and the boundaries. It's good.
You may want to let them know what Donna has been doing in terms of her education.
I had we had an opportunity at the center to do a dementia-friendly training, and then to go with Alzheimer's and dementia to do a care luncheon where it's paid for through live stream, but you have people to help counsel and to be down there and guide a group of caregivers that are caring for someone with Alzheimer's and dementia. And Donna was willing to do the training. She did all that training, and now she's, I think this will be her 3rd time going down. There on Wednesdays, you get a free at the Firehouse Barbecue. It's pretty popular, and people talk about it. And then they come in, if they've not been part of the center, they're now coming back to see what we've got going on there. So it's a nice feeder. It's a very good program. Actually, we had live stream there. We have a speaker series I started. I thought I've mentioned on here, but we're now full through October. We had so many people ask, so we're scheduled out. And we had live stream come, and they're going to train us because so many people attended that want to become dementia friends. So they become aware of one another, and then with the idea that we get to make our facility in little ways more dementia friendly. So that's a second step, but we have like 40 people wanting to do the hour training and get certificates, which I think is kind of cool. We're going back to school. So
One thing Becky's not going to tell you is that she was actually asked to be a speaker at the state council on senior centers, and so she was asked to speak on behalf of our senior recreation center because we are booming, and some people are actually experiencing some burnout, and we are not. We're growing by leaps and bounds, so they want to know how we're doing it, and so we are going to go tell them. And
yeah, I'm going the end of April
15th or something like that?
No, it's the 20, like the 20s, whatever, the end of the April, that Friday to Tipton. I've never been to Tipton, Indiana. But they did ask because they called and asked why I wasn't participating in the statewide things. And I said, I've been really busy. They said, well, you must be burned out because everybody's burned out. And I was like, well, no. And then 45 minutes later, they're like, huh. And then they called me about a month later and said, we'd like to be our motivational speaker and the breakout speaker to tell everybody how we can grow our centers. So that is exciting. I am going to Friends Fellowship next week to the afternoon tea, and I was at the Genealogical Society last Saturday. So we're getting out there. We're not a secret anymore. It's really weird to go to these things, but I mean, everybody's so nice. I'm not sure about like I said, I've never been to Tipton. I had to look up where it was, I'm ashamed to say, but it's really cool because I can take month seats, 30, 35 to 40, 28. I'm there. So,
It's
yeah.
$25 a year, and you can be a member if you're over 50. or
Oh, absolutely.
spouse.
So
Over 50.
we had a guy come back today that hadn't been there in 6 years. We weren't sure he was even 50. We were afraid to ask because he's in such great shape. He said, I'm 67. And we told him he wasn't welcome because he looks so good. So he had to leave his belly. But he's going to come back. So
Nice.
that was a nice
Great
thing.
topic.
So yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, looks like we are going to move on to board concerns, comments. Is there any?
So I just wanted to highlight the fact that we do have an advisory board going on at this point in time. That's why Hannah's not here with us. So we have our first advisory board meeting, and so I included the board there. This was something that came out of the farmer's market plan, which I also included as your link, so that you can have that information there. But through the market plan, it did call out the fact of an actual stationary board to be formed, an advisory board. We have had, since the start of the market, an actual advisory team, and anyone could come and participate on a monthly basis. And so for some more advisory role that is consistent, a board was called out in that plan, and so there were applications that were given and a rubric that was defined, and so 9 people were chosen, and so the first advisory board meeting is this evening, and so people are very excited about that, and so it's moving forward just like the plan has initiated, so looking forward to that. And then of course the most important thing coming forward on community recreation is our egg hunt. So that is happening on the 23rd at Glen Miller Golf Course, and so we'd invite the public to come to that. So that's going to be exciting. There are so many eggs that the bunny is bringing, so we're very excited about that. And then just to jump down to delegations and correspondence that's listed here, we did meet with the Whitewater Valley Dog Club, and you can see that the partnership agreement has been signed, and that was a great meeting, and so very excited about that.
Okay, so let's go back to, since you want to jump ahead, delegation and correspondence. Okay. This partnership agreement, my understanding was I was contacted and I was told that they did not get the full document for this agreement.
No, it was scanned in. We met with them and talked through all of the things. The second page wasn't scanned in, but it was the legal information, and so we gave it to them when they came in.
Okay, because they
But we didn't know
since
that. They didn't contact us about that, or we would have sent it over their way.
So
They didn't contact us.
they got it during the meeting on Tuesday.
That's
what you're saying.
correct.
And then they signed it despite
That is
them getting
correct.
it that day.
That is correct.
All right. I still have reservations about that, but I just wanted to at least bring it up.
The meeting went very well. So you're happy, I'm happy for you to contact both Carol and John about that. But yeah, you can see the partnership agreement there. We also gave them the information on the HVAC unit that they requested, and so we talked through that. And so, no, you're more than welcome to contact them about the meeting.
No, they contacted me, that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
So, yeah. Moving on, before we go on to old business, is there any board comments or concerns? Because we did skip over that. All right. So then moving on, we have no old business, so let's move on to new business. First up is the approval of contract 37-2024 to, is that Aramark? Is that how you say that? For annual cleaning needs for shop towels.
So, is this anything that you want to speak about?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention a little bit. I did some research because with Cintas, who has been our current provider for shop towels, last year we canceled our mats with them because we weren't getting as good of quality despite our requests. So we went down to just shop towels. But when it came to invoicing and customer service, it was kind of going downhill. And so I did some research, I looked around, and Aramark was the closest one to provide what we need in town. So I met with their rep and we worked it out to where bi-weekly we'll be getting, I can't remember the exact number of that, 100 towels I believe. And it'll come with the rental of a towel manager. So they put the dirty towels in the basket in the bottom, clean towels will come out the top. When the vendor comes out to refill, they can just take the bag out of the bottom, put a new one in, and reload the new ones. Including that monthly rental fee, we're still gonna be saving almost $300 a year by switching. So we figured we might as well try it out for a year, see how it works, make sure the towels are good quality. Our mechanic Doug also met with the rep and myself to make sure, because I don't know all of what they need them for, what kind of towels they need. So he kind of went over what they were offering and the town manager, and we both agreed that it was worth a shot to try to transfer, because at least going into it, the customer service was a lot better. So we'll see how they do it. I'm very hopeful for this one.
Okay.
Good.
Questions, comments? If not, I entertain a motion for approval.
I move we accept contract 37-2024 to Airmark.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve contract 37-2024 to Aramark for our annual cleaning needs for shop towels. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of 27-2024 Clubhouse Manager Agreement with Hunter Morgan.
So this is our clubhouse manager contract. It's identical to the one we had with Derek, but this is the only change in the contract would be the fact that just like the other contracts that we do in terms of contractual agreements, we would be paying for the reimbursement of the certificate of insurance. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward on the duties set forth of the clubhouse manager, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
We'll make a motion to approve contract 27-2024 for the clubhouse manager agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of 27-2024 Clubhouse Manager Agreement with Hunter Morgan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the approval of resolution number 3, Highland Lake Golf Course application submittal for potential gaming license.
We alluded to this earlier during our subsidy information, but this is a resolution number 3 /2024 to discuss and be available to submit an application, the submittal for the potential gaming license. So this is something that Wes is pretty excited about, to see if this is an opportunity of eligibility on our end, and see what that might entail. So that's why we're bringing it before the board.
Wes, do you have anything additional to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3-2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the approval of resolution 3 for Highland Lake Golf Course application for a potential gaming license. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up is the approval of contract 57-2024 to Taylor Seeker Williams Design Group for phase 2 of the Whitewater Gorge Activation Plan.
Yes, so this is very exciting. Obviously, this is from the funding from the HELP initiative, and this is our phase 2, and going forward with the phase 2 facilities and phase 3 facilities, trying to get that designed, engineered, and facilitated for implementation. So that is, all the scope of work is listed here for part 1, and then all of the design and engineering are listed here. So the funding would come out of the funding from the HELP initiative.
Okay. Questions or comments?
There will be an addendum coming back for this, just so you know, that for the additional phases. So we felt as going forward with phase 2, we'll start here because this is kind of the most pressing to get this done with phase 2, and then after that we'll have an addendum to attach for the rest of the remainder of the work.
Okay. If there's no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the move and second for the approval of contract 2024, it's 57-2024, to the Taylor Seeker Williams Design Group for phase 2 of the Whitewater Gorge Activation Plan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On to the next business item is the approval of contract 56-2024 to Dickman Appraisal Services for appraisal services as needed.
So this particular blanket contract will be for appraisal services for appraising any properties that we might need going forward. And this will be until December 31st, 2024. And if there is another opportunity or appraisal needs that is outside of the scope of Dickman Appraisal Services, then we would work with the city's appraisal blanket services for theirs that also has an additional appraisal services opportunity for 3 companies. So this is something that I think is important as we look over any other opportunities for potential sale or transfer of property, that we would want to know how much those things, that property is worth for our needs and for our information before the transfer or the sale of that property going forward.
Okay. Are there questions or comments on this one?
You say the city has a different contract?
The city is working on a different appraisal service contract that will be a blanket for the entire year with three companies in general. So if it would be out of the scope of Dickman Appraisal Services, we would work within their contract.
Other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve contract number 56-2024 with Dickman Appraisal Services.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second for the approval of contract 56-2024 to Dickman Appraisal Services. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would just note, we want to abstain.
I'm abstaining.
I didn't want to say anything. I was hoping that, okay.
That should be on the record.
Sheila can put her abstaining in the minutes, please.
Yeah.
I'm abstaining.
Oh, yes, because,
Yes.
thank you.
Let's try that again. All in favor of the approval of contract 56-2024 to Dickman Appraisal Services, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstaining?
Aye.
Motion carries. Are there any other business for today?
I just wanted to bring a couple things to your attention. You do have in front of you our brand new rec guides. We're out earlier than ever before. So very exciting. If you haven't picked up yours, you can do that at the park office, or they will be several places in town. This has all of our facilities, all of our programs, all of our events, all of our partners. So very excited about that. So different things going on, and our rec guides are out. So very exciting. Also wanted to highlight the fact that the city does have a solar eclipse manual that we are working through, so they're pretty prepared. So we appreciate that. We're working with RPD and RFD on our events, and I did outline an event list for you on our eclipse. So we will not meet again before the eclipse unless we need to. So I wanted to make sure you had all of our events in case you had any questions whatsoever.
Okay. If there's no other business for today, it's a very nice day out after the rain had finally passed through. But it sounds like we get more rain tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned.